I just woke up. I haven't cried in a long time. Sorry, I look a mess. I had nightmares about my mom, my adopted mom. I'm moving in a couple months, and I have to go back to my hometown, and I have to see my adopted mom there. She called the other day. I have her blocked from my phone, but I don't have to answer. But sometimes when I wake up and she'll call, because it's an hour difference, so it's back. She knows it. She'll call me when it's 6:30 her time, and I'll just answer the phone because I'm kind of still half asleep. She doesn't really care. She's a nurse, and she thinks I'm a hypochondriac. I had surgery a few months ago, and I'm not healing right, and she's making fun of it, saying it doesn't care. Morning. Sorry, I'm kind of crying. I had some nightmares about my adopted mom. She's really controlling, so I'm kind of nervous about having to move and have to travel and go through my hometown and see her. I'm not going to tell her when I'm coming or not. I've set boundaries. I blocked her from my phone, but she still calls and I don't have to answer, but I sometimes accidentally answer. I have DID, so sometimes I dissociate things. Sorry, I'm a mess. I don't know. It's cold out here. I can't even feel my fingers, and I'm out here smoking a cigarette, and I need to quit smoking, But my mom's a nurse, and she, I know. She's the only one that I have left in my family besides my brother that she is keeping from me, my half-brother. I haven't talked to him since I was pregnant with my son 5 years ago. So I hope I get to see him. He almost died 2 times in the past year because she thinks she can give doctors advice. She's the reason that my sister passed away. Thanks. She misdiagnosed my sister, told her it was nothing. She just needed to drink some water and go to sleep. So she did, and she didn't wake up. She had a pulmonary embolism. She had swollen ankles. She told her feet hurt, all these other symptoms. And my mom wouldn't let me see her at the hospital. She pulled the plug on her. I found out 2 years after the fact that she did that. So, December was my sister's 10-year that she had passed away. So I still haven't dealt with that yet. So I've been having nightmares about that. Kind of also seeing her, when I'm, what it would be like if she was still here. If she met my son. Stuff like that. I'm trying to cope with that, and oh, I'm sorry. I hope that he likes Australia, though. Is it a good thing for him to be moving, or... my brother just moved back into my mom's, and then after he had his major surgery on his birthday in July, because my mom put off his tumor, and he had it removed, and she went on a trip to the UK from Texas for 2 weeks and left my brother by himself. She's a nurse. She doesn't care. She told me that she'd pick me and sorry, I'm shaking. My hands are really cold. It's freezing out here. I'm gonna go inside. I got my 3 dogs I have to round up. It is freezing. Well, it's not snowing. It's supposed to snow. It's 30 degrees or something like that here. I don't know what it is there, but, sorry. Oh, my connection is getting bad. Hold on. I don't have a lot of Wi-Fi in the backyard. Get my dogs. I have 3 dogs, so they're kind of my comfort. They know when I'm sad, So, at least I'll have them, I have grounding techniques that I use. Right now, my breathing techniques aren't working. Still shaking just because my hands are cold. But, what time is it there? It's, 9 o'clock. Thank you. So I'm going to go in where it's, warmer. Getting my, I've never been there, so. I lived in Germany, so I know that it's cold. Sorry, it's going to be dark for a second. Getting my 3 dogs inside. And then I'm But yeah, so dealing with nightmares and having to go through my hometown, sorry, dark, is kind of, you know, and then moving alone is, you know, difficult, and, you know, I've learned to, you know, use my grounding techniques, do certain things, but my dogs aren't even barking. Usually they are. I'm a mess today. Just got up and wiping tears. I'm gonna go to my safer, my quiet room, kind of my craft room again, which I haven't, you know, really been in a long time. It's kind of what I'm gonna miss. We have to move out of our house next month for 45 days into it. Yeah. I just don't know how I'm going to do it when I have to go see all these people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know, I just feel kind of alone. My husband didn't even ask me if I'm okay when I got up. You know, he's just playing his video games. Doesn't really care. He knows all my triggers, so it's kind of hard to deal with when you don't have the support at home. Oh, well, my husband's getting transferred to California, where he'd live in Maryland, and so he's there for his last 3 years. He'll be shore duty again. He's been sea duty here, so he'll be back on a ship again, which he's glad about because he's been at a desk job here, so I think that kind of makes him a little more irritable. Thank you. So he kind of takes it out on me, treats me like I'm a soldier. I grew up military life, you know, Army brat. You know, my adopted mom's she was British military, so also with her, you know, controlling and how my parents were, so it's kind of, I don't treat my son that way. So my husband sometimes will do certain things that he knows that how I grew up, and he will try to use some of that against, you know, for our son, and I don't want my son to grow up the way I did. It could be something small, like the dishes, you know, that's a trigger for me. Like, I can't put the dishes in the dishwasher because I was the dishwasher. I remember one time getting hit because by my mom, my adopted mom, because a fork and a cup were in the sink. Then another time, I had to get stitches in my finger because the glass broke. Cheap Walmart glass, it popped off around the curve and cut my finger open. But at that time, my mom took me to her ER, and they did the stitches and stuff like that. The water has to be scalding hot. She would have to come and check the temperature. She would literally put her finger in the water just to make sure. And then after that next day, my finger, the stitches opened up because I was doing her laundry. Like, I would have to do her scrubs and stuff and iron. She made me iron her scrubs and everything. I did my brother and sister's laundry too, and I hid it off the dryer. And so she went and took the that glue stuff that's like $75 here in the U.S. a pop, and she got it for free because, you know, she thinks she gets everything for free. Well, she can get in big trouble for doing that. It's illegal. She does a lot of that. She does, you know, like for doctors, confidentiality, the HIPAA, which is here in the States. I don't know how it is for other countries and stuff, but she breaks it all the time. And so that's why I don't tell her everything. But she has in the past where she has known I've been at hospitals, or she has put me inpatient a couple times back in the past before my husband and I met. And they'd be like, oh, I know your mom and this and that. And I totally flip out because I was in a shelter and I was afraid that my dad was coming after me or an ex was coming after me, and I thought I was supposed to be safe. And then for them to tell me that they know my mom, and then I was put inpatient after I left that hospital because I was like, they didn't have my glasses. I had left my glasses back at the shelter. They said none of the phones were working, so I couldn't make any phone calls. I wanted to speak to my roommate, my best friend, but no, they wouldn't let me. So that's against HIPAA for them to even mention that when I was supposed to be in a safe place. They arrested me. I was pregnant with my other son 10 years ago. They had a cop at the street. Like, it was weird. It was in a really small town, and they arrested me, pushed me to the ground on my knees, and arrested me, putting me in the back of the cop car. Thanks, Jody. Thanks, Bradley. But yeah, I haven't talked about it in a long time. I've been talking with my therapist about that. I gave my other son up for adoption 10 years ago. I was forced to be pregnant, and then I went through with the pregnancy. I was told the whole time I was having a girl, and then I delivered him 2 weeks after my sister's funeral, and had a boy. They were like, "Oh, you're not having a girl." I'm like, "What do you mean?" I had adopted family and everything for him and stuff. The guy I was with was verbally and mentally abusive, kind of physically abusive, not like kind of pushing and stuff like that. Not until after I had to give my son up for adoption because of him. Like, my son would be crying and he would cover his mouth when he would cry or stuff like that. And then he abused me for giving up our son, which wasn't his son. And so I ended up being in a shelter again, having to run for my life because he beat me in front of his best friend's wife. I'm sorry, Bradley. I didn't mean to get all into this either. My relationship with my husband is not good either. And I've been homeless because of him, his infidelity, his gaslighting. I've asked him so many times. We went to marriage counseling once when we got back together a few years ago. And he's such in denial for about like how he treats me and stuff. I was inpatient 36 times in the past 3 years, 2.5 years, but it's been 2 years since I've been inpatient. So I guess in the past 5 years since I had my son, really. Thanks. I just don't know how I'm going to be because all this trauma stuff that I went through is back home. So all my stuff that I've done to not go in the hospital or, be in my safe place and stuff and be able to be in control and not have those people be in control. I look way different than what I did 3 years ago. So maybe people won't recognize me. That's what I was saying the other day. And yeah, my husband and I are separated in the house, so we don't, there's no contact. There's no intimacy, not since August, and plus my health, I had surgery, so I can't anyways, so he'd go find somebody else like he has in the past anyways. He's used my mental health and everything else against me anyway, so he's trying to take my son away from me, so, and the judge believed him. And so I had to come back to him, had a restraining order against him, and then I found out about all the other lies that I knew, that he had cheated on me and stuff like that, and we went to marriage counseling, and we only went once. He's not diagnosed with anything. He doesn't make eye contact with me more than like 2 seconds. He's very antisocial, but he's military, but he can be social when he goes to the bar. But we haven't drank in like 2 years, but I still think that he's been doing stuff when he would go on trips from here. He's military. And then finding out that when I was pregnant with our son, my other son, not my son that I get for adoption, my son's 4. And he cheated on me with a girl that actually lives in the state over. So I feel like we came all the way over here from California 3 years ago so he could be next to his girlfriend, and I saw the other day that she liked a couple of his pictures, and last year he told me that he stopped talking to her, and I brought it up yesterday, and he said he's not friends with her anymore, but he bumped into her. He told me a year ago that he bumped into her when he was pregnant with me on deployment. He went to the bar and everything with her and stuff, and he's known her a lot longer than he's known me. And so I know that he has done stuff with her and stuff, and he just lies. And I don't know how to forgive him. I'm trying to figure out how, with therapy and stuff, and like with the nightmares, like what I started out with. Sorry, I'll change everything that's going on. Thanks. She said, like, if you still remember what your nightmares are, to write it down and stuff, and then try to rewrite a new ending. I still haven't figured out how to do that. The ones about my adoptive mom is, I guess bringing up because I am moving and going to have to go through town. I still can say that I'm not going to be able to see her, but where my mother-in-law's house is, just a couple of streets down, is where my stepdad's mom's living at his old house, where my adopted mom's old house was. So they would see me, and it's a really small town, a hick town, and everybody knows your business. I mean, I could go right into Walmart and everybody would post it on Facebook. It's bad. The reason why I erase people from a hometown is after a text message I got. My husband had erased all of my people off my Facebook a few years ago before we moved here, and off my phone. So someone had texted me and they're like, "Hi, Kira," and I was just like, with a smiley face or whatever, and I was like, "Sorry, I don't know who this is," and they were like, they just went off on me, like, "You don't know who this is? Oh, you're calling me out." They called me all these names and stuff, and I'm like, "Sorry, my phone messed up. I couldn't tell them that my husband had done that. Thanks." Well, it's a mess today. I kind of just woke up, but yeah, I got it done yesterday. Kind of makes me feel a lot better about myself to do it. But no, my husband is also from our hometown. He graduated 6 years before me, but we didn't know each other. But he, like I said, he knows my triggers and stuff too, so it kind of doesn't help, I have a few friends that I've made out here and stuff, and I'm hoping to keep in contact when I move in a couple months. But how am I going to keep, sane going through and not break down? I mean, maybe if someone says hi to me or whatever, I can just be like, "Hi," and just walk on, smile, whatever, kill them with kindness, kind of thing. Like I said, I don't think that they would even recognize me because of my hair and my tattoos that I have. I mean, they already know I have tattoos and stuff, but I mean, my hair is the shortest ever. I had long hair down half my back, so maybe they wouldn't. But I use grounding techniques, like the 5 senses to kind of ground myself, kind of sounds bad saying grounding myself, but no, I have some pics and stuff that can explain part of that, and I can share that. I've shared it before in the group, but it's kind of hard because I have DID, the dissociative identity disorder, and I haven't felt like I've really disassociated. I kind of feel like I've everyone keeps on saying they're from Edmonton, and I've been wanting to go maybe someday. I'm in another group that everybody is from there. So, but it's cold, isn't it? Thanks, y'all. I really appreciate the support. I'm just like, how am I going to, once if I disassociate when I'm there, and how am I going to control that? Because before, when I was there 3 years ago and just visiting, I isolated myself in my mother-in-law's house. Oh, hi. Tell her I say hi, Jody. My son's 4. He's downstairs, but I can't talk about this stuff in front of my husband. And my son, he's my little man, and my husband doesn't teach him a lot of stuff. DID, it used to be called multiple personality disorder, where you have different personalities, alter personalities. You tend to disassociate, and you can, when you're under a lot of stress or anxiety, kind of sometimes with psychosis breaks, which I haven't had one in a long time. But I've been under a lot of stress in the past few months that I've been afraid that I'm going to, relapse of it. And when my alters come out, I have no control over it. It's kind of like watching yourself doing stuff, but you can't control it. So that's why they have the grounding techniques to help with that, so you bring yourself back to reality. But sometimes you can't control what your other personalities do. You do? I only found out a couple years ago about it, so I'm still learning, and I haven't had any specialists that know about it or have had people that are diagnosed with it or even understand it. Or some people don't even actually like believe that it's real, that people fake being younger selves. You know, like I have younger alters, and my husband's met 3 of my alters, and he's heard all 3 of them. So I think that's kind of why they haven't come out. You know, like even my protect alter came out, and he hurt her really bad, and that's what caused me to have a restraining order against him. But he got away with it, and I had to get back with him. Otherwise, I was going to lose all my rights to my son. Sorry, I feel sick. I just felt being sick just thinking of it, because my son is my baby. He's my whole world. I love him, and I don't know what I'd do without him. And that was the day that I quit drinking 2 years ago. Thank you. I'm glad that it's helped you. At least I stopped crying. That's a good thing. I've been nervous about, but this group has been so helpful for... Thanks, you too. You have 6? Yeah, no one really does understand it. I have about 9, I think. But it makes sense for when I was a kid, like, Jody, did you ever, like, get, you would get, like, full body paralysis or something, like, you're just, like, laying there, and you can't, if someone's hurting you, you can't say stop or no, and, yeah, I quit drinking 2 years ago. It was the day that my son, my husband got temporary full custody of him, and I drank a huge bottle of vodka by myself. And, vodka before was like, you just drink it like water. I just had it with Sprite. And I had a DD, a designated driver, and she was driving my car. I was trying to get out of my passenger side car, and I fell onto the sidewalk, and I sprained both my knees, my right hand, and had a concussion. I hit my head. She didn't take me to the hospital then, so it was the next day when I was really in pain, and so I was on crutches and stuff and everything. That was my my wake-up call. But, I mean, if you got told by the judge that you need to get better with your mental health or you don't get your baby back, no rights. I had to have supervised vision, and then for that 6 weeks, my husband wouldn't let me see my son, even though the judge told me I had a certain amount of time. Yeah, I will, I can put more about that in the group. It's, and also I can message as well, and if y'all need to too. Jody, how long have you, known about having DID? Because for me, just finding out 2 years ago on top of all my other mental health issues, it's been like, I don't like being labeled. Nobody does, and, I mean... I also had to stop drinking because of, medical health, just physical health issues. Like, it's not good. Then plus, if you're on other medications, you can't drink. And there's a lot of people that do, and sometimes don't realize it. Like, you're stressed out, and then you do, but you have to be very careful. It's not good. But, so I'm moving in 2 months, and I have to go back to my hometown. I'm hoping that I don't have to be there for the 2 weeks that my husband says. We haven't set up the ticket yet, so... I kind of have, like, abandonment issues, so, and trust issues anyways. So I'm going to have to leave the 3 doctors that have really helped me since I've been here, in the past 6 months. I have to leave them and find new people and start all over. We lived in California before. Oh, wow. Yeah, I really, like, being labeled is... I wish it wasn't like that. And right when I got diagnosed with DID, they go, you need to be on an antipsychotic medication and stuff like that. You're hearing voices and this and that, but it's really DID. You're hearing yourself. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it before. Like, I thought I really was going crazy. It was like the other medications that were causing me to hallucinate and stuff. Like, I didn't really understand. It was so scary finding out that I had it. And do your other altars like kind of have like their own kind of well, of course personality, but like things like they do, like talents and stuff? Because mine, like one of my protect altar, I know when she comes out, because I will order I will buy a pack of menthol cigarettes, and I'll be writing left-handed. I'm already ambidextrous with like playing pool and when I would paint houses, construction. So if my right hand got tired, I can use my left hand. And then for other things too, I can bowl left or right-handed as well. So I just know that when she comes out, but like I said, it's been like 2 years since my Protect Altar has come out to help me, and I said in my last video that she sent my letter to my adoptive mom about that my last psychologist told me to do, about maybe it would help me. I didn't have to send it if I didn't want to, but I did. That's okay, Bradley. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and you can message me anytime. And Jody, I haven't really met a lot of other people that deal with DID, and how you get through the times, or like how long have your altars been out at times and stuff like that would be nice to know more about, since you've gone through it a little bit longer. Also, using grounded techniques, breathing techniques, I can share those in the group, and I really appreciate it. I don't know how long I've been talking for, but it's been, when someone tells you that you, just alone having PTSD, people freak out. So then when you talk about your other things like OCD and generalized anxiety disorder and BPD, I also have borderline personality disorder, so that doesn't help on top of the DID. I feel like I got misdiagnosed bipolar because that was the beginning. They couldn't figure out why. But so I started out with talking about me waking up to nightmares, and I was crying outside, and I just was having nightmares because of my adopted mom, having to see her. But I have her blocked on my phone, and so I kind of set boundaries with her. But when I get really sad, and since I don't have the support at home with my husband, and I'm going to be staying with his mom, we get along, but she doesn't know how he is. She thinks he's perfect. So I just don't want to isolate myself when I'm there in 2 months, just to go through there. So I hope that I can be able to use my grounding techniques, and my anxiety won't get so bad that I'm going to freak out, that I'm going to see exes, I just don't want to see those people that have hurt me. Like I said, there was a text message I got. Yeah, Jody, that'd be great. How do you deal with, you said, how do you deal with all of that? Like, how did you deal with, from each diagnosis to the other? I mean, it's really, I bet you've gone to so many doctors to find out what's really going on, and being labeled, no one likes it. I mean, when I was told I had the BPD, the borderline personality disorder, before the DID, but I'm surprised that nobody noticed. Oh, you just press, you're gonna say you're gonna put in a message, type in a post, and it should have like a button, a deal underneath it for go live. I guess it depends if you're on your phone or on your computer, unless you have a camera on your computer, because this is new to me too. I haven't gone live, only just in this group, and I watched some of the other members' videos on PTSD Buddies YouTube channel, and that has helped me a lot to open up more and feel comfortable. This group has been like an extended family, you can say, and for Jamie too. I don't really know a lot of the other admins, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to do a live chat with him, video chat with him sometime this weekend. I'm hoping to. So, morning, Chase. Hi, Eric. I just, was talking about me waking up, I was crying. I had nightmares about my adopted mom. Yeah, Jamie, he's the, that's okay. He's an admin, and he's really awesome. He does like he can either do like, I guess, Skype or Uvu or something to do like a buddy chat, and then he will later ask you if it's okay if he can put it onto the PTSD Buddies YouTube channel. And the first time I did it, when I first joined the group, I'd probably been in the group for a few days, and I did it, and I was a mess. And oh wow, really? I didn't know that, Eric. Thanks for your service. I didn't have to join because, I mean, growing up military, I feel like I already was signed on the dotted line, and I couldn't imagine what y'all have seen and gone through. I watched Jamie's story, and it broke my heart. I just, but I felt like I was in a war zone with having my parents be military and treating me like I was a soldier. I mean, the punishments we had were hands behind your back, in a corner, find a corner, and we'd stand there for hours, and then be like other stuff that would be triggering, that I don't do for my son, like stopping the generations, for punishments. And I don't want my son to grow up the way I did. My son is very empathetic, very OCD. Yeah, I didn't think it was military punishment. There's other things that they have done that are, sorry, I'm a mess. I just didn't want to bring that up. Maybe I didn't want to trigger somebody because of the things that they did as that. So I'm going to trigger warning. So my PTSD is from my father. I can't go on base anymore because when he was active duty, he would take me out to the field and do what he wanted with me. So camping and stuff like that. So I'm talking about like the field. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about like when they go for ranges and he knew where he could hide me there. No one would see me or hear me. Like the gun ranges and stuff like that, or where they would do their training on Fort Hood. So that's kind of where I have to go back to my hometown around there. And so thanks, Eric. Then after my dad, after even I told on him, he still got to stay in the military. He got away with it. And then he became a camp leader for a school for boys from 6th grade to 8th grade. Sorry, I'm a mess. My nose is running. I'm sorry. And so since he didn't get in trouble, thanks, hugs all around. My therapist says I could call the school, but he doesn't work there anymore after they had allegations of child abuse and sexual assault there with the boys. One of the boys that he knew actually committed suicide last year, and he left. And my stomach hurts just thinking about it, that I think that he had hurt some of these boys there too, like he hurt me and my brother and my sister. And yeah. And so I think that kid committed suicide because of the abuse. I looked on the school's, the academy's website. They also have a Facebook website. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to upset anybody, because they kind of put everything under the rug and had made these people, these leaders, he was a camp leader. Well, camping is one of my triggers because of what my dad did, not just because of the field thing, but what he had done other times. And so I can't go camping anymore. And I used to be a Girl Scout and stuff like that when I lived in Germany and traveled, went to France and stuff like that, to Epinal. And I said in my first video, I said German flag and American flag at every cross, but it's actually a French flag and an American flag that my sister and I, when we were Girl Scouts, that we put at every cross for the veterans. I know I miss camping, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to, when my son gets older, and be able to make new memories. But I'm afraid I'm going to flip out. I mean, I'm just glad that my dad's not working there anymore. But the thing is that me knowing that he was working there, and they have, it was 2 flags at every cross, we did it 2 years in a row. It took us 4 days to do, so many crosses. And, I really, even, you would think that with what I went through growing up and being military and then me marrying into military, that I would be mad at the military, or that all military people are the same. Well, I just happened to marry somebody that's just like my dad. That's why my DID acts up, because my husband knows my triggers, and he's met my alters, and he's heard them. So I don't know how to deal with that. Unfortunately, I cannot leave. We're separated, we're married, but not in the same rooms. So we kind of just ignore each other like he does, but I don't know. I have to lie to his mom, pretend to his mom, put a fake smile on, post these pictures of my son being happy, which my son's happy. I've got my husband to stop. There's times that he's argued in front of my son and said bad words, and I told him, no, that's not going to happen. No, I'm not going to have my son grow up that way. Oh, sorry, I don't know, I'm kind of jumping around. Yeah, I didn't think anybody is all the same. No. So that's what I was saying, is that I don't think that all service members are the same. I just have had bad experiences with other guys that I dated that were military and that had hurt me, and a military soldier that was going on deployment is the one that got me pregnant 10 years ago with my other son and gave it for adoption. So he doesn't know he's a dad, So, but I feel like I kind of had bad luck and stuff, and I'm hoping that I can, but I'm definitely not saying that all military are the same, or any branch, or I don't know, I feel like I kind of have vulnerable on my forehead, and that's why I've learned to set boundaries with people, so that even just with friendships, and I don't tell everybody all of this stuff. I can't. You can't. Even if you just bring up PTSD, people go, oh no, some people don't even ask you. They just kind of like do a 180 and bye, and I don't know. I'm just hoping that when I go back home for the couple of weeks that I will be able to not disassociate. I'll be able to use my grounding techniques. I'll be able to use my breathing. What is that, Jody? FIP? What? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, you mean they flip? People do not understand at all, and most people, they think, oh, PTSD, it's military, just military, but it's not. And Jamie had said before in other videos that people, there's all sorts of different kind of traumas, PTSD. It's not about that. And I'm so glad for this group, because, I haven't met a lot of other people that are like me or have similarities, but I've met a lot of people that are in common. And if anybody wants to message me, I would really appreciate it. And I can tell you more about the DID. And Jody, I would like to know more, like how since you've gone through it longer, knowing about it, that maybe, that's what I thought you meant. I was like, FIP? Maybe it's an abbreviation? Autocorrect. Sometimes it can be really bad. Yeah, it's not just military, Jamie, and that's what I was trying to say, is that so many people, they just assume, you know what I mean? And I watched your story, Jamie, and I had tears, and I hugs to you, hugs to everybody for even listening, for me rambling. I kind of started out with talking about my nightmares and my grounding techniques to help me when I go to go through my hometown. And everybody knows that if you're in a small town, that everybody knows you can't just hide from everybody. And I don't want to isolate myself like I have in the past. And yeah, that's true, Eric and Jamie. And so many people just assume, like, oh, yes, I will be too, Jody. That'll be great. Yes, Jamie, that'll be great. And Jody, there's the PTSD Buddies on YouTube channel, and it's great. I know that Jamie's put up some links to get straight to there. Jamie can be able to put that up there. You can go straight into it if you can't find it, just going on YouTube and stuff. And I watched some other people's stories, and I'm very empathetic. So I feel other people's pain and stuff so much more than I feel like I should, but I care a lot, and I care about all of y'all. I really appreciate the support. I've calmed down since I started, and I'm hoping that I will be able to use, and plus of course I'll be staying in the group when I move and stuff and everything. And if anybody wants to message me, I will share about the grounding techniques in the group, breathing exercises, maybe later when I've calmed down, maybe do some of those to help calm down. But y'all have really helped me today to after just getting up and calming down. I'm on a lot of medications right now for my pain and stuff like that, so for after my surgery, because I'm not healing up. So that's another thing that I'm trying to work on, and I'm hoping that I don't disassociate and, you know, have my alters come out after they haven't come out in a long time. And thanks, Eric. I was really nervous. But I've only done live groups being in this group, because seeing other people do it and opening up, and actually I think us, even though we're nervous and shaking and feel like we're breaking down, or but we're not alone. We have each other, and we've all gone through different things. But with PTSD, we all, yes, Peggy, that's true. That is very true. And well, for Eric, for PTSD, you don't always have to be diagnosed. I mean, if you've had childhood trauma or just nowadays doctors are kind of just throwing it out there. But Jimmy said before in the past that, like, you know, it's always been there. PTSD has always been there. It's just been other names. But a lot of people didn't recognize what it was, and that they just said it was military. But it's not. There's so many things that can be triggering. And for me, with the grounding techniques, if anybody hasn't done those, it's like the 5 senses, and you have to make sure that you don't pick any of those 5 senses that could trigger you more. I'm going to share those here in a minute in the group, some of the picks and stuff, and then later, hopefully I can do something to help, like, kind of say how I get through that. But thank y'all for watching and stuff, and me sharing. It kind of helped me kind of calm down, and I'm glad the sun's kind of coming out. I don't know what I'm going to do today, but I really appreciate all of you. You can message me anytime. Hugs to all of y'all. And Eric, bit by bit, you don't have to share everything. And I think by doing this live, if you figure out how to do it, it's a lot easier, I think. Even if, like I said, if you're nervous and shaking and you feel like, oh man, I was horrible in that, sharing my story, but you don't know how much you can help someone else by sharing your story, even if it's hard. But I think that talk therapy, thanks Peggy, you too, and everybody has a story, and we're all survivors. We might still be, you know, fighting a war inside our head, or maybe not in the place where we want to be right now, but using those coping skills to get you through the day, whether it be anxiety or flashbacks, nightmares, you name it. Having a support system. Thanks. Hugs to you too. And Jody, that'd be great to know more about the DID somebody else dealing with it. I was in a few groups that are for DID, and they were really horrible to me in there. And so, oh, yes, definitely agree, Eric, that it is a war for coping every day, just for that alone. So, but, yeah, anybody can message me later and stuff. And thanks. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye.